My name is Driller, and I have been creating content for about 5 years in the blue page that everybody knows. And I have been lately thinking in this situation that we're living at now, with the current situation of the country, I think it's good for me to share my story so people can know why I think a certain way. So I'm gonna tell you all my immigration story and how I was almost deported by ICE. For a long time, I traveled for work all around the country. And in one of my visits to Tampa, Florida, I got into a little encounter with the police. They came to my hotel room, they were an undercover cop, and they arrested me. I went to the police station, they took my fingerprints, they took my picture and everything, and they booked me in jail. And they put me in a male jail, which it's okay. I have all my parts, so I understand that people don't want to put me in a women's jail, and I never expected that. I was like, okay, they did put me in protected custody, which is when you don't have people with you in your cell. You're by yourself in a cell. Imagine me in a male's jail. I wasn't scared or anything. I was actually the queen of the jail. So my experience there, besides the horrible experience of being in jail, I was like really, really sad, but I was like, okay, this is not that bad. Or like, I wasn't traumatized because it wasn't a women's jail or something like that. Like, that was never an issue for me. When they took me to jail, I called my friends to pay my bond. But when they took me to jail, they told me, even if you pay your bond, you have an immigration hold. You have an ICE hold. So even if you pay your bond, ICE has to come get you. So don't even pay for your bond, for your bail. So I waited 1 day, 2 days, 3 days. I waited for, I think, like a week, and immigration didn't come to get me. So I was like, oh my God, there has to be some way that I can go. Like, my arrest was for something really simple. It wasn't anything like violent or anything. Like, you're not supposed to stay in jail for that. But I was like staying in jail because I had this ICE hold, this immigration hold. So one of my partners from there, one of the other inmates, was like, well, if you have an immigration hold and you pay your bond, they have 48 hours to come get you, or they have to let you go. So in the regular jail, you can pay your bond, and if immigration doesn't come to get you, they have to let you go. So I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna just pay my bail. My friends paid my bail, and I spent 48 hours. I waited 48 hours, and they called me, and they called my last name, and they are like, oh, you're going home. And I was like, oh, fuck, it worked, great. Like, I paid the bail, and immigration didn't come to see me, and I'm going home. Yay, great, I'm going home. Yay, I was so happy. It was for my surprise that when I was so happy and ready to go home, and like waiting for them to give me like my clothes and stuff so I could just go, they were like, oh, no, you're not going home. Immigration is coming right now, and they're coming to get you. And I was like, oh, how dare they? No. I was like, fuck. I was scared. scared for my life because I didn't want to go back to Argentina. Like I had just moved to the US and I didn't want to go back. If I'm sent back to Argentina, how am I gonna get to be the person that I wanted to be? That was a really big thing in my head. Like I don't want to go back to Argentina because I'm not gonna be able to afford like the procedures that I need or what I needed for my transition. So that was like the main preoccupation that I had in my head. The biggest worry that I had was like, well, if I'm deported, how I am going to like continue my transition. Like I didn't have my facial feminization surgery yet. I had like my first set of boobs that looked a mess. So I was worried about that. And well, when immigration came to get me to the jail, they first put me in a big bus. There was a big bus and it was divided men in the back, women in the front. And there was like a gate in between the two sections. So first they put me with the men because I was in a male jail. So they put me with the men and they started seeing it. Those guys that were in that bus were not the guys that I had spent the prior 10 days in jail. Those guys that I had spent time with were really nice to me, really understanding and stuff. So nobody bothered me for those guys. But since I was in that bus with people that I didn't even know, like everybody was like, I was the spectacle of the bus. Everybody was like asking me questions. Everybody was like I was calling attention too much in the male section. So they put me in the female section. And when they put me in the female section, I was friends with all the girls. So I was happy there talking to the women and like basically making friends. And they saw that as like too inappropriate maybe. So the bus went from Tampa to Orlando, which is only like 1 hour away. And in Orlando, they dropped me off in a jail in Orlando because they didn't want me to be with the women or with the men because I was like friends with everybody basically. So, or they thought that it would be dangerous for me or something, but I didn't feel in danger. I felt like, okay, well, this is gonna be another thing that I have to resolve and I'm gonna be okay, or I'm gonna go to Argentina. But I always try to see the glass half full and make lemonades out of lemon. And even if I am in a situation as stressful and as bad as being taken into an immigration jail, I was just trying to make the best and like trying to be friends with the girls and talk and like have conversation because like it was like 10, 15 days after me not being able to have my phone, to talk with my friends and everything. So like seeing new people, it's always like nice to like talk to people for me. They took me from Tampa to Orlando and they had to leave me one more night in a jail in Orlando. They had to book me in a jail in Orlando, retest me for TB, like all the things they do when they are booking you in jail, like fingerprints, mugshots, everything. Next day they came with like one of those transit or like one of those vans, and it was just me in the back of a van and the driver and like an ICE officer. And I was like there waiting the whole trip by myself from Orlando to Miami, which is like 4 hours, 5 hours away. And when we got to Miami, they took me to Chrome Detention Center. That's an immigration jail in Miami. So I was there. They put me in general population, actually in Chrome, because when I got there, they started like making all of the paperwork and booking me. and they told me that they wanted to put me in protected custody by myself, just isolated, just me and myself and I said no. Please no, please don't do that. That's like torture for me. I was in the male general population in Tampa and everything was fine. Like, I please don't put me isolated just because I'm trans, just because you don't know what to do with me, because for me it's like more traumatizing than be around guys. I don't mind being around the guys. Like, I'm 6 feet tall, nobody's gonna mess with me. Like, but yeah, they put me in the general population, so it was like a huge like place with all like with bunk beds. Like, it was like two or three, I think it was two, but it was like a huge place with all bunk beds. And I got there, and I was there with the guys, and the guy that was in the bunk bed below me, he started like trying to be friends with me, and telling me, asking me what happened to me, and like what was my idea to get out of there. Like, so I was like, yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna do to get out of here. And this guy saw a scar that I had here. Well, I still have the scar. I don't know if you can see it, but I had this scar that I have here and this. They were really fresh. They were still red. And they asked me, what happened to you there? And I told them like, oh, well, a guy actually tried to kill me a couple months ago, like actually 2 months before that. Somebody tried to kill me, so I was a victim of attempt of murder, and this happened 2 months after, or two or yeah, not even 2 months after. This what happened to me was in July, and this was at the end of August. So my scars were really visible, and this guy was like, "Oh well, you can get out of here. You can apply. You can. You're a victim of attempt of murder. Like, you can apply for a U visa. You can apply for a visa that you get when you're a victim of a crime." So everybody was telling me that when I went to the immigration jail, everybody was like, "Oh, you're being out of here. Don't worry. Um, with what happened to you, that that visa for victims of crimes, it's really like permissive, even if you had prior arrests, which I had. If you are a victim of crime, it's really like likely that they're gonna give you that you're gonna be able to go out, at least, because when you are in one of these detention centers, if you entered the country with a visa, if you entered with permission, they don't deport you automatically. You have the right to see a judge if you entered the country with a visa. So since I came from Argentina with a visa, they didn't deport me automatically when I got to the immigration detention center. When I went to see the judge, I told the judge, "Oh well, I was a victim of attempt of murder like 2 months ago. I'm still in the process of prosecuting the person that did this to me, so I need to be present to go to court and to like do my things and to keep going with this case." So the immigration judge was like, "Okay, we're gonna let you go. You can be outside with the bond and continue your immigration process while you are outside." My sister's brother-in-law paid the bond, and he was supposed to come pick me up to Chrome Detention Center. And I don't know what happened. I think his phone died or something. So they were letting me go and nobody was there to pick me up. So I had to call a taxi. I uh, I asked them to use a phone or to call a taxi for me, and they did. They I think they called a taxi for me because my phone also my cell phone didn't have a battery, since it was like after all this time like inside a plastic bag basically, and they didn't let me charge it right there. I asked the taxi driver if they had a phone charger, so I put my phone to charge, and when my phone turned on, I called my sister to let her know that I was going to her place, that I was already out, and like I was going to her place. And my sister is like, "Oh no, you cannot come here because I don't want my kids to see you like this." And I was like what? I was told that my dad had died when I was in jail. It's the first time that I'm actually talking about it and not crying, and it's really hard. And really few people in my life know about this story, and it's heartbreaking to see all these people being deported now, especially with what happened to me, and it's really hard for me to do this kind of videos and like seeing like letting people know about my story, because I don't want to be the victim. I never wanted to be the victim, but maybe somebody is gonna learn something from these stories, or I have been doing therapy for the past 3 years and always talking about like, okay, I want to start letting people know more about myself and not being only this dominatrix or like porn star or whatever, like letting people see who I am as a person and the things that made me who I am. And this is why I'm dead inside. This is why sometimes I think I'm dead inside and like nothing can hurt me anymore, or even if somebody wants to cancel me, or even if like I don't know, even if I lose it all. I think sometimes I already lost it all, and I'm trying. That's why my channel is called Giselle is Trying, because I am trying. I'm always trying to be the best version of myself, or try to be Miss Perfect or whatever. And a lot of times that has made me get into trouble, or people think that I'm this cold bitch. No, I've been really really hurt. That's why sometimes I am so cold and I am so. I mean, I've been really sad after what happened with my dad, and being a really really naughty girl lately, but sometimes I think that I need to heal from that and start doing other things, because what I've been doing and my work and everything, it's been kind of sad for me lately. It hasn't been the same. Like I used to enjoy doing this, like the blue OF page a lot before, and like being with all these creators and people that I've met and everything. But lately, I want to start taking care of myself more and my intimacy and on healing of all these things that were making me be a naughty girl. So I'm trying to be good. I'm trying to let go of all this trauma and past and normalize it and be able to talk about it. And like maybe there's people that are going through something similar, and especially like I hope all the people that are currently being deported find peace, and hopefully this is not going to continue. It is really sad, and I know how it feels. So I wish all these people that are being sent back to their countries now, I hope they can like get there peacefully, find a way to live in their countries, and like I don't know, or find a way to come back legally. I don't know what is gonna happen, but it is something that really worries me because I was in that situation. But yeah, this was my story, and I hope you guys care. And if you want to see anything else, just let me know in the comments. I don't know, this is the first time doing a long video like this for YouTube and stuff.